You people who have seen my other videos will notice that I do use a 10 gauge a lot, and there's a reason for that. Most of my hunting is pass shooting. Out of all the geese I shot this year, only one of them was not pass shooting. I ambushed it on the water. But normally, pass shooting, you can't beat a 10 gauge for the distance shots. I don't care what choke you got. You can have the best ultra super fancy chromium plated, fully illuminated, ultra tight choke for a 12 gauge, and it's just not going to have the punch that a 10 gauge does. And that includes 3.5 inch 12 gauge. Plus, in the lighter gun, it'll ring your bell all day long. The 10 gauge weighs more, so it doesn't kick as bad. Except that over and under I got, that kicks pretty hard. But you can knock a goose down with a 12 gauge from a high distance. But a lot of times you'll have to chase them, and you'll have to finish them off. And if they can get to the water, you can't get them. So I'm talking about large geese, 50 yards and beyond. The large geese are farther away than they appear. A lot of times they'll look like they're 40 to 45 yards, when in reality they'll be 60 yards or farther. But if you look at some of my other videos, you can see just how far some of them are. Of course, the wide-angle lens in the camera does make them look further away than they actually are. But trust me, some of those shots are pretty far. But I'm going to show you some video reasons why I prefer a 10 gauge to 12. Just watch. .12 gauge. I hit that bird, and there he goes, back into the refuge. Dang it. Oh, you son of a bitch. 10 gauge. One. Score me another one. Maybe not. Now we're going the other way. Okay. Get them all back in. Oh well. Wow, that was further away than I thought. Holy crap. Now I gotta watch the distance on these shots. These are definitely further out than they look. Yep, busted them up good. 12 gauge.
That's fast, bud. Oh!
Ten gauge.
There's one. Finally.
Twelve gauge.
Finally. There he is. Die, please! You're done, buddy.
10 gauge.
Fuck yeah. Yeah. Oh, did get two. A doubled. Hot damn. Yes. There's the first one. Now let's go get the other one. Might have trouble finding this one. Nope, there he is. Finally doubled with this gun. Awesome. No bands. Far up.
There's also the question of reloading for 10 gauge because the shells are kind of expensive at the stores, and usually the variety isn't very good. The variety for 12 gauge is awesome, but if you buy the reloading supplies, which you can buy anything you need, from Ballistics Products, or there's other companies as well. You can reload a box of 10 gauge shells for around $14, $15 a box, as long as you use the shell casings at least 4 times. And they'll hold up at least 4 times. So it makes it economically comparable to a 12 gauge. And the velocity doesn't necessarily have to be extreme. The geese that I shot this year were with heavy shells. I mean, they were around 1 3/4 ounce BBs, flying out of the barrel around 1340, 1350 feet per second. That's all. And some of the shots were pretty far. So something to consider. By the way, in all the other videos involving the 10 gauge, those geese were not down with plain garden variety steel. Nothing special. No heavy shot. No F shot. In fact, I think they were all done with BBs. Just plain old steel. I find to have the same results with a 12 gauge, I have to go to heavy shot. Unless it's over decoys, of course. Then it doesn't matter as much. Thank you for your time. This is why I prefer a 10 gauge to a 12 gauge. When you compare 1 1/8 to 1 1/4 ounce load of steel compared to 1 5/8 to 1 3/4, there's a heck of a difference. And a 10 gauge pattern better. The larger bore size tends to pattern better. It just has more punch. That's another thing. Normally with a 10 gauge, when they fall down, they stay down. The 12 gauge, more often than not, they'll try to run away if it's pass shooting. If it's over decoys, you can kill them with a 12 gauge. You can kill them with a 20 gauge if they're close enough. But I'm talking about large geese, 50 yards out or better. 12 gauge just don't have enough punch. There ain't enough pellets. Plus the temperature's cold. It's hovering around 30 degrees. And during cold temperatures, the ammunition is weak. Cold temperature reduces the power that the powder can produce. That includes factory loads as well as reloads. So you might want to consider that. Another thing to consider is to go up a pellet size or 2 when it's cold like this. I didn't have time to order more pellets for reloading, so I was stuck with BBs. I would have used T or maybe even F